Hey everyone, happy Easter. You caught me doing some laundry. It's a never-ending job, isn't it? You know, Easter is my favorite holiday of the entire year. And it's not because of Easter baskets or Easter egg hunts or even these things. No, Easter is my favorite time of the year because we get a chance to celebrate the most amazing event that took place in all of history. Jesus overcoming death. Now, before we get to all of that, I'm in the mood to play a game. And this game is going to require socks, lots of socks, and a laundry basket, or we'll call it an Easter basket. So why don't you take a moment now and go get a whole pile of socks and a laundry basket. We'll wait right here for you. All right, everybody have their socks? Now what I want you to do, I want you to take the basket of socks, dump them on the ground, and put the basket on the other side of the room. Oh, and you need to find someone that you're going to go up against, maybe a brother or sister or perhaps your dad. Roll up individual socks so that they kind of look like an Easter egg. And when I say go, you're going to toss the socks into the basket. Are you ready? On your mark, get set, go! Well, that was a fun game, wasn't it? I know that some of you probably just started throwing socks at one another instead of into the basket. Well, as I mentioned, Easter is my favorite time of the entire year because we're celebrating the most important day in all of history, a day that is truly a happy day. But before we get there, I know that you have a lot of family and friends who would love to hear from you, or better yet, they would love to see you. So why don't we take a moment and you can reach out to your favorite peeps. Here's a few ideas on how you can do that.
Easter, a time for fake grass, plastic eggs, these things, chocolate bunnies, and people dressed as bunnies. And then there are the weird parts of Easter, like fake grass, plastic eggs, these things, chocolate bunnies, and people dressed as bunnies, which is interesting. But what does all this stuff have to do with Easter? And if this holiday is about more than candy and wearing uncomfortable clothes to church and lunch with your relatives, what makes Easter happy?
Even though we're not together to celebrate Easter like we have in Easter's past, that's okay. It's still a happy day because of what happened thousands of years ago at that very first Easter. It's the world's most powerful story, and it's the best news ever. And let's be honest, we could all use some good news right now, can't we? Why don't we sing a song that talks about this happy day?
The greatest day in history. Death is beating, you have rescued me. Sing it out, Jesus is alive. Cross the empty grave, life eternal, you have won the day. Shout it out, Jesus is alive. He's alive. Oh, happy day, you wash my sin away. Oh, happy day, I'll never be the same. I stand in that place, realize meeting face to face. I am yours, Jesus, you are mine. In this joy, perfect peace, earthly pain finally will cease. Celebrate, Jesus is alive. He's alive.
Well, thanks for singing, everyone. I think what I love most about the Easter story is just the simplicity of it. In fact, it's such a simple story that it can be told with laundry. Why don't you grab a seat and enjoy this creative telling of the best day ever.
In the beginning, God created everything. He formed people in His very own image. But then, we turned away from God. Sin entered the world, like a dark stain. Still, God loved us so deeply that He made a plan to rescue us. At just the right moment, God sent His very own Son, Jesus, to live among us. Jesus healed hearts, and minds, and bodies. Thousands gathered to hear Him teach. Instead of giving lots of new rules, Jesus turned things upside down by making it simple. Love God, love others. After 3 years of traveling and teaching, Jesus and His disciples entered Jerusalem to celebrate the Passover feast. Huge crowds gathered to welcome Him. But while the crowds cheered for Jesus, the religious leaders made plans to arrest Him. He was turning their world upside down, and they wanted Him gone. As Jesus celebrated the Passover meal with His friends, He told them that He would be leaving, but would return. His friends didn't understand. That night, one of Jesus' followers, Judas, led soldiers to arrest him. The religious leaders gave Jesus a fake trial and then sent him to Pilate, the Roman governor, who could have him killed. Pilate found Jesus had broken no law and tried to release him. But a mob called for Jesus to be killed. Pilate gave in and handed Jesus over to the Roman soldiers. Jesus was forced to carry the heavy beams of his own wooden cross. On a hill called Golgotha, the soldiers nailed Jesus' hands and feet to the rough wood. The soldiers and people who passed by laughed and mocked him. But from the cross, Jesus asked God to forgive them. Finally, Jesus called out, "It is finished." Then he died. The earth shook. Rocks split open. Even the soldiers cried, "Surely he was the Son of God." One of Jesus' followers took his body and placed it in a tomb cut from the rock. A huge stone blocked the entrance. Jesus' friends were devastated. They had believed that Jesus was the one God promised, the one who would rescue them, but now he was gone. Their whole world had turned upside down. Jesus' friends stayed hidden in fear for 3 days. But early Sunday morning, Mary Magdalene, a close friend of Jesus, hurried to the tomb. She planned to anoint Jesus' body with special spices. As Mary neared the tomb, she saw the stone had been rolled away. The tomb was empty. Mary turned to see a man standing near. She didn't recognize him until he said, "Mary." It was Jesus, alive. Jesus told her, "Do not hold on to me. I have not yet ascended to the Father. Instead, go to those who believe in me." Jesus, God's Son, became like us to lay down his life. Through God's power, he defeated death for all of us, and sin was washed away. One day, he's promised to return, so we can live with him forever.
You know, that's a story that we hear every Easter. It's a story that's been told for over 2,000 years. And it serves as a great reminder that Jesus overcomes everything, including death. You know, the truth is that all of us are going to end up here someday. These earthly bodies are going to get old and wear out, and we're all going to die. Now, that's the bad news. The good news is that those who put their faith and trust in Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior, even though their earthly bodies will die, you'll get a brand new heavenly body, one that will live forever, one that won't grow old, one that won't wear out, one that won't die. And all because Jesus overcame death. Well, that's it for today, everyone. And although we can't meet as normal at church, we do still want to stay connected with you. So here's our idea. Will you take a picture of your family and post it to social media? Use the hashtag TimberKidsEaster2020. Dress in your finest Easter outfit or simply roll out of bed. Whatever it is, we want to see you because we miss you. May God bless you this Easter. It certainly is one that none of us will ever forget, but it's still a happy day. God bless you. Happy Easter. He is risen.